What's up, Canucks fans? It's Chris Faber here for Canucks Army with a very special new recurring segment here for the YouTube channel called the Blackfish Report. If you haven't heard about the Blackfish Report, it's something that we do at Canucks Army to wrap up a weekly recap about the Vancouver Canucks prospects and what they've been up to over the past week. We're going to try and do this pretty often here on the YouTube channel, and now that we've got some preseason games going on in the European leagues, we actually have some stuff to talk about. But before we go overseas, let's talk about what's going on just here in Canada over in Edmonton at the World Juniors. The Canucks currently have 3 prospects in attendance at the World Juniors, and they're all playing significant minutes for their teams. Let's start in Finland with Yanni Jurmo, who's been pretty impressive so far to start the World Juniors. He's had some up and down moments, but there's definitely been a showcase of his strengths. He's done a good job of moving the puck up ice and using his skating, which seems to be his best ability so far in this tournament. It'll be interesting to see how his season progresses, and the idea for him to come over to North America is still probably a couple of years away, but what we're seeing at the World Juniors has been decently impressive, even though there have been some blunders and some mental mistakes. When you see the physical skill in Yanni Jurmo's game, you have to be impressed with the left shot defenseman. Now let's talk about the Canucks' first round pick from the most recent draft, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, who's a right winger playing for Sweden right now. He is 18 years old, so he can still play in this World Juniors tournament for 2 more tournaments after this one. Pretty impressive run for him so far just because of his age. I mean, the kid's only 18 years old. As we mentioned, he can play in 2 more of these tournaments. So for him to just play minutes for a top team like Sweden has been impressive. He's added a couple assists so far in the tournament, as well as scoring a goal in the pre-tournament action. We'll have to see how his tournament continues as they move into the semifinals, quarterfinals, and potentially the finals as well. And we'll definitely be following what the 18-year-old has been doing. We'd like to see him get a little bit more involved in the corners, as he seems to be floating and playing on the perimeter a little bit too much, but that's something that we'd like to see him grow throughout this tournament as the competition gets harder. Now let's talk about the American Jacob Truscott, who is a left shot defenseman at 20 years old, who has been playing the right side actually at the World Juniors for USA. It's been pretty damn impressive for Truscott. We've really liked what we've seen from him so far in this tournament. He's a guy who knows his role and plays it well. He's not too flashy. He just seems to make all the simple moves and be very trustworthy in his own defensive zone. Now let's head overseas. We're going to talk about Jonathan Myronberg first. He is a right shot defenseman, a 19-year-old for the Vancouver Canucks, selected in the 5th round of the 2021 draft. He's been loaned to the Allsvenskan League, which is the 2nd division over in Sweden. He made his preseason debut with Mora as they played against Leksand, which is actually an SHL team, so a little bit of an exhibition action for him. We really liked a lot of what we saw in Myronberg's game. He was able to move the puck, be strong defensively, make good breakout passes, and also have a little bit of flash to his game, as he was able to kind of dangle around some of the SHL competition that he was playing against. Really impressive for the 19-year-old so far, and we've really liked what we've seen from Myronberg as he's developed over the last year. Heading over to the KHL now, where Dmitri Zlodeyev scored 2 goals in a preseason game earlier this week in the KHL, as well as added a goal about 2 weeks ago in the KHL preseason as well. So he's up to 3 preseason goals now in the KHL, and that's pretty impressive for the 20-year-old who is a center and should look like he's going to get some time in the KHL this year. That's always very impressive for a 20-year-old to be able to step into the KHL and make that kind of impact, and we'll definitely be following what Zlodeyev is up to this year. Now let's talk about Viktor Persson. We have found a team for Viktor Persson. He is heading to the Finnish Liga to play with the Pelicans with former Canucks prospects Lucas Jasek and Toni Uutinen. The Vancouver Canucks still do have the rights to Lucas Jasek, so there's maybe some future down the road, but we're not so certain about that. It's just good to see that Viktor Persson has found a place to play next year after playing with the Kamloops Blazers last season in the WHL. It's a great spot for him to play in the Liga. He should be able to get some minutes there, and for the 20-year-old, this is a great spot for him to develop. We'll talk about a quick trade in the OHL for a Vancouver Canucks prospect now. Connor Lockhart has been traded from Flint to the Peterborough Petes in the OHL, and he should get a little bit more ice time there, play with better line mates, as the team that he was on last year with Flint didn't have any other drafted players on his OHL team. This opportunity should open up some doors for Lockhart to have a good breakout season as a 19-year-old in the OHL, and we'll definitely be following his season as it goes on. You'll hear a lot about him on these reports because he's going to be putting up a lot of points in the OHL. Finally, let's talk about one of our favorites, 18-year-old Lucas Forsell. He scored a preseason goal with his SHL team, and it was just kind of impressive to see the 18-year-old getting an opportunity on the power play, a place where he should thrive if given that type of opportunity. We like the offensive game in Forsell's game. All he really needs to do that we want to see over the next couple of years is put on some weight and continue to progress and grow his offensive game. We love the motor in Forsell's game. He's able to get in on the forecheck, play good in his own zone, and all these opportunities on the power play that should be coming his way over the next season should be massive. Forsell wants to be a top 9 forward in the SHL this season, and for a kid who's still only 18 years old, we're really happy with the Canucks and the ability for them to draft this kid in the 7th round. That wraps it up here for the Blackfish Report. My name is Chris Faber. Be sure to like this video if you want to see more of these weekly updates on the Vancouver Canucks' prospects, and we'll be sure to get these videos out if you guys enjoy them. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, do other stuff, watch the video 5 times. I don't know, but we'll do lots more of these Blackfish Reports if you guys enjoy them. So that wraps it up here for Canucks Army.